Hi, Dennis here from the Orthobalance team. Today I'm going to talk about lymphatics. The lymphatic system is a sort of returns toxins to the bloodstream and clears them out of the body. It clears organs of toxins also, and gets rid of what we call lactic acid after exercise. If you ever exercise and you feel achy the next day, well, that's a build-up of lactic acid, and the lymphatic system gently bathes that out of the muscles. But all animals, and we have that same primal instinct, lick and stroke and stretch and pandiculate and move, and this exercises the muscles, which then in turn acts as an auxiliary pump mechanism for the organs. So muscle movement and organ health go hand in hand. And when animals are stroking and licking and squeezing and pressing and pushing, what they're doing is stimulating various reflexes, and the lymphatic system is one of those reflexes that they're actually stimulating. Way back in the 1930s, a man called Dr. Chapman, started to research the link between various points that could be stimulated by pressure on the body and their effect on various organs. So he would x-ray organs before and after these treatments to show that there was actually a flushing out of the organs reflexly because of the place we were pressing. And this took many years, and then that was incorporated into a chiropractic system by a man called Dr. George Goodhart in the 60s, and he showed a link between meridians, energy flows, muscles, organs and lymphatics as a way of strengthening muscles that tested weak, and because of the flushing out of the organs and retoning, it would actually recalibrate the body. So it's very useful, because the good news is we can do it to ourselves very simply. So we've got a chart which we'll show later on the screen that shows all the lymphatics. Now they're stimulated by a little rotary pressure like this, and they're on the front of the body and the back of the body. But we only need to do the front because that's where we can reach. So they're all accessible. They're on the legs, they're on the abdomen, they're in between the rib cages. So I'll show you some anatomical places so you can easily locate these points. My first exposure to lymphatics was in 1969 when I was working in Coventry for an osteopath, and he'd been to America to do a lecture tour on sports injuries and come back with Dr. George Goodhart's book, and it showed various muscles that he tested and then rubbed the lymphatics. And he laid me on the floor and tested what I now know is the facial artery, which is this big band of muscle here. So the muscle tests it, your legs raised up and person presses down, and you grade the strength or tonicity. And mine tested weak with the pressure he was using, which was a lot of pressure, more than you would use normally for muscle testing for the kind that we use kinesiologically. But then, anyway, then he rubbed the lymphatics, and they were quite tender, and he rubbed all the way up there, and for the facial artery, it just happens to be that the reflex is on the same place as the muscle. So he rubbed this for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then he couldn't press my leg to the floor. Well, that was me at 19 well impressed, because I was looking for the magic chi, the magic answer, and all of a sudden someone could rub something and a muscle went from weak to strong. I was hooked. So many years later I learned these as part of my college training, and then I went to America to become an instructor in a system that used and incorporated muscle testing with these points, and that was in 1979. And I've used them ever since. I've taught my clients to do them. I've rubbed them to reinforce the corrections I was making. And you know, now we're 45 years on, I'm 70, I still rub these daily. If you've had a bad meal, you know which ones to rub. You can flush an organ out. If you've done some exercises, you know what to rub to get rid of the soreness and stimulate these things. I had an injury, a neurological injury that damaged the nerves in my foot that basically incapacitated me for about the last 5 years. And I've always maintained lymphatics and movement, and slowly my health and wealth is getting better. Wellbeing is getting better because of the auxiliary pump mechanism reflexes. So they're really important. They maintain wellness, they maintain the organs, they flush in the body, they keep us well.